2026 is shaping out to be one of the biggest years for gaming in a long time. From long-awaited sequels to brand new IPs, we've got everything. Horror, action, sci-fi, and superhero titles. So in this video, I'm breaking down the biggest upcoming games of 2026. What we know about them so far, and the release dates. Let's jump right in. Kicking off 2026, Capcom's coming in hot with Resident Evil Requiem. This is the next mainline entry in the series, dropping February 27th. And it looks terrifying in the best way possible. You can switch between first and third person, giving fans the freedom to play how they want. And it's said to be one of the darkest Resident Evil stories yet. This time we're introduced to a new protagonist, Grace Ashcroft, the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft from Resident Evil Outbreak. Grace isn't just fighting to survive, she's uncovering her mother's past, while facing creatures unlike anything we've ever seen before. The game puts a heavy focus on tension and atmosphere. You'll manage your weapons carefully, switching between firearms while watching your ammo. You'll also need to get creative with what you find. Makeshift weapons like glass bottles or improvised traps can give you an edge when bullets run low. There are two kinds of light sources: a lighter that gives off this airy, flickering glow perfect for close quarters, and a flashlight for long, dark hallways that might reveal things you don't want to see. And of course, Capcom's bringing back the kind of terrifying monsters that'll keep you on edge every second. Next up, Saros, dropping March 20th, 2026. And this one's coming from Housemarque, the team behind Returnal. If you thought Returnal was intense, Saros looks like it's taking everything to the next level. The game mixes fast-paced action with deep exploration across shifting alien worlds that literally change every time you play. It's still got that roguelike DNA, but this time you actually keep some upgrades between runs, so every attempt feels like real progress instead of starting over completely. Visually, it's stunning. Bright energy trails, glowing armor, and a planet that seems alive, constantly transforming and reacting to your movements. Combat looks brutal and precise. Twin-stick shooting, dodging through waves of projectiles, and using new powers that bend reality itself. If you loved Returnal's mix of challenge, mystery, and atmosphere, Saros might end up being your next obsession in 2026. Following right after that, we've got 007 First Light dropping March 27th, 2026. This one's a big deal. It's an all-new origin story for James Bond, showing us his life before he earned the 00 status. What's really cool is that it's not based on any of the movies. It's a completely original story that dives into how Bond became the world's most iconic spy. Expect a mix of cinematic storytelling and stealth-driven gameplay, sneaking through high-security facilities, hacking devices, blending in during tense undercover missions, and using that signature mix of gadgets and gunplay to outsmart enemies. The tone looks darker and more grounded, focusing on a younger, less experienced Bond, who's still learning the ropes, making mistakes, taking risks, and finding his identity. If you've been waiting for a more story-focused spy game with that classic Bond energy, First Light might just be the one to watch. Now let's talk about Pragmata. Capcom's mysterious sci-fi project has finally set to launch in 2026 after years of silence. From the very first trailer, this game stood out, not because of non-stop action, but because of how strange and beautiful it looked. The story follows a man named Hugh, a lone survivor, exploring a fractured future Earth before journeying to a lunar colony. Early on, he discovers a young android girl he names Diana, and the two form this powerful bond as they fight to survive together. What's cool is that both characters are playable, and each has unique abilities they need to master to progress. Combat combines exploration, hacking, and gunplay, and that's where Diana's skills really shine. You can use her to hack into enemy systems, revealing their weaknesses before attacking, or even turn their weapons against them mid-fight. Defeating enemies earns you points and materials to upgrade your weapons, enhance Diana's abilities, and craft new tech. Between the intense battles, there are also puzzles and environmental challenges. Things like restoring power to broken structures or reconfiguring gravity pathways to move forward. You'll travel through gravity-shifting areas, crumbling cities, and airy space stations, all brought to life with Capcom's signature atmosphere and emotional storytelling. Pragmata looks like one of those games that's going to blend sci-fi, mystery, and heart. Easily one of 2026's most fascinating titles. Next up, Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. This one's shaping up to be something really special. It's a cinematic action game set during World War II, dropping sometime in 2026, and it's being developed by Skydance New Media, led by Amy Hedick, the creative mind behind Uncharted. The story puts you right in the middle of the war, following two playable heroes from opposite sides, Captain America and Azuri, the Black Panther of that era. They don't start as allies, but as their missions collide, they realize they're both up against the same enemy, Hydra, which is secretly experimenting with ancient technology that could change the course of the war. What's exciting is how the game switches perspectives. You'll control both heroes in different missions. Cap's gameplay focuses on brute strength, shield-based combat, and leading soldiers through chaos, while Azuri relies on stealth, speed, and agility. The story isn't just about the war, it's about trust, legacy, and the weight of responsibility. It's all fully motion captured and cinematic, with dialogue and set pieces that feel straight out of a Marvel movie. If you loved the storytelling of Uncharted and God of War, Rise of Hydra looks like it's going to bring that same emotional punch, only this time with two of Marvel's most legendary heroes and one unforgettable story. Now this one's for the fans of classic samurai action. Onimusha Way of the Sword is slicing its way back in 2026, marking the return of one of Capcom's most iconic franchises. This new entry takes place years after the original trilogy, introducing a brand new protagonist, a wandering samurai caught between the living world and the demon realm. The story centers on the ancient cursed blade said to grant immense power, but at the cost of your soul. Combat looks fast, brutal, and cinematic, blending traditional swordplay with supernatural powers. You can parry, counter, and unleash devastating finishers, all while absorbing the energy of fallen demons to upgrade your abilities. The sword itself evolves with you, unlocking new elemental attacks and forms as you progress. There's also a strong focus on exploration, from airy temples and mist-colored villages to massive battlefields filled with undead warriors. You'll face off against terrifying demon bosses, solve environmental puzzles, and uncover dark secrets tied to the Onimusha bloodline. Way of the Sword feels like Capcom is bringing back the series in a big way, combining that classic samurai horror feel with modern combat and next-gen visuals. Definitely one of 2026's most exciting returns. Next up is Tides of Annihilation, an all-new action-adventure IP that's been getting a ton of attention since its first reveal. It's set for release sometime in 2026, and it's got this haunting, almost apocalyptic ocean theme that really sets it apart. The story takes place in a world where rising tides have swallowed most of civilization, leaving only scattered islands and sunken ruins. You play as Mira, a deep-sea scavenger who discovers that something ancient and powerful is stirring beneath the water, an otherworldly force that's slowly reshaping the planet. Gameplay mixes underwater exploration, combat, and survival mechanics. You'll dive into massive flooded cities, fight mutated sea creatures, and use a high-tech diving suit that can be upgraded with tools and weapons. There's a heavy focus on atmosphere, glowing bioluminescent areas, shifting currents, and claustrophobic dives that really make you feel the pressure of the deep. What's interesting is how the ocean itself becomes an enemy. Storms, collapsing structures, and unpredictable tides constantly change the environment, forcing you to adapt. Tides of Annihilation looks like one of those games that's going to blend beauty and terror perfectly, a mysterious, visual stunning world where every dive could be your last. Now let's move into pure horror with the Dark Pictures 80/20. This is the next big chapter from Supermassive Games, the team behind Until Dawn and The Quarry, and it's officially kicking off a brand new Dark Pictures saga. Set far in the future, Directive 8020 takes this series out of haunted houses and into deep space, aboard a colonization ship called the Cassiopeia. The crew sets out to build a new world, but after a mysterious signal is picked up, things take a dark turn. You'll play as multiple characters again, each with their own perspectives, choices, and secrets. And like past entries, your decisions can mean the difference between survival and death. But this time there's a twist. The horror is more psychological and alien than ever before. Strange infections start spreading through the crew, paranoia sets in, and you're never sure who you can trust. Expect intense cinematic storytelling, branching dialogue, and those signature moments where one wrong move can completely change the outcome. The visuals and lighting look incredible, especially in those claustrophobic ship corridors filled with flickering lights and distant screams. The Dark Pictures Directive 8020 looks like it's pushing the series in a bold new direction, trading ghost stories for sci-fi terror, and it might just be the scariest entry yet. Now of course we can't talk about 2026 without mentioning Grand Theft Auto 6. Rockstar is finally returning with what's easily one of the most anticipated games of all time, launching May 26, 2026. Set in Vice City, this is Rockstar's most ambitious open world yet. A massive living map filled with beaches, swamps, highways, and dense city streets that feel alive with NPCs, events, and chaos. The story follows Lucia and Jason, two characters drawn into a dangerous life of crime and survival. Inspired by modern-day America, it's a story about trust, loyalty, and the cost of freedom, told with Rockstar's signature mix of dark humor and realism. Gameplay looks like a huge step forward. You can switch between both characters during missions, plan heists, and experience dynamic police chases than ever before. With smarter AI, destructible environments, and real-time events that change how the city reacts to you. Visually, it's on another level, from neon-lit streets and sunset reflections to crowds reacting naturally to everything happening around them. Rockstar is aiming to make GTA 6 not just a sequel, but a full-blown evolution of open-world gaming. Simply put, this is going to dominate 2026. Next, we got something perfect for horror fans, Halloween, dropping September 8th, 2026. Just in time for spooky season. This one's being developed by IllFonic, the team behind Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed and Friday the 13th game, so you already know it's going to nail that slasher atmosphere. The game brings Michael Myers back in a brutal, story-driven horror experience set in the town of Haddonfield. It's part survival, part stealth, and it puts you in the shoes of multiple survivors trying to make it through the night, each with their own stories, fates, and choices. But what makes it stand out is the stalker gameplay. Michael isn't just chasing you, he's hunting, learning your patterns, and using the shadows to his advantage. The tension builds as you hide, search for escape routes, and try to outsmart him before he finds you. There's also a story mode that dives deeper into the Halloween lore, showing the aftermath of the original films and how the town still lives in fear decades later. Combine that with next-gen lighting, sound design, and brutal kills that stay true to the movies, and this could easily become one of the scariest games of 2026. Halloween is shaping up to be the return of true slasher horror, the kind that keeps your heart racing from start to finish. And finally, ending 2026 with a bang, we've got Marvel's Wolverine. This one's coming from Insomniac Games, the same studio behind Spider-Man 2, and is set to launch fall 2026. From what we've seen so far, this game is going to be dark, violent, and personal, the kind of Wolverine story fans have been waiting years for. The footage shows a grittier tone than Spider-Man, with Logan fighting through grim bars, snowy forests, city black alleys, using his claws and brutal detail. The game mixes cinematic storytelling with deep combo-driven combat, letting you switch between brutal melee attacks, counter moves, and finishers that feel straight out of a movie. You can also heal mid-fight, track enemies using Wolverine's heightened senses, and take stealthier approaches when you want to strike from the shadows. What's really exciting is that it's a standalone story separate from the Spider-Man universe, giving Insomniac freedom to explore Logan's past, his pain, and his struggle to control the beast within. With jaw-dropping visuals, cinematic direction, and Insomniac's proven storytelling, Wolverine could easily become one of PlayStation's biggest exclusives ever, and a perfect way to close out 2026. And that's the lineup for 2026, easily one of the most exciting years in gaming we've had in a long time. From Resident Evil Requiem and GTA 6 to Wolverine, every one of these games looks incredible in its own way. But honestly, the game I can't wait for the most is Wolverine. He's just so awesome and easily my favorite character of all time. If it's something that pulls this off, it's going to be legendary. Let me know in the comments which 2026 game you're most hyped for. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss out on the latest PlayStation news, updates, and reviews. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.